Hello and welcome to homework 8.01. This is the first homework in the last unit of the year. Alright, so the topic for this homework is adding and subtracting polynomials. So what we're really going to be focusing on is combining like terms. So for example, on this first one, the 9x and the 2x are like terms because they both have a variable. The 7 and the 4 are like terms because they don't have a variable. Alright, so 9x plus 2x is 11x. 7 minus 4 is a positive 3. Alright, if we get to this next one here, we're going to do the same sort of thing. Now, you're seeing these parentheses here, and technically there's a 1 here that we would have to distribute. But the nice thing is multiplying by positive 1 doesn't actually change anything. That's what we call the identity property. So we can pretty much just combine these as they are. Now, in this case, we have a t and a t squared. Just because they use the same letter does not mean they're like terms. To be like terms, they have to have the same letters and the same exponents. So this 4t can only be combined with this 3t. This negative 3t squared can only combined with this negative 2t squared, and this 5 can be combined with the negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to start with the highest exponent and do that first. So negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5t squared. 4t plus 3t is a positive 7t. And then a positive 5 and a negative 5 are going to be 0, so we don't actually have to write that at all. I'm just going to leave that as negative 5t squared plus 7t. All right? Now, if we look at number 3, this time we have a positive 1 out front here, but a negative 1 right here. Now, the positive 1 isn't going to change anything. It's just going to stay 12t minus 9. The negative 1 is going to change things. It's going to go from being a positive 5 here to a minus 5, and from a negative 3 to a positive 3, because negative times a negative becomes positive. Once I've done my distribution, now I can combine my like terms. So 12t minus 5t, 7t, negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this one. No parentheses to worry about, but we just have to pay attention to the exponents, because all of these are y's, but we can't necessarily combine them. Like this is a y squared, it has to be combined with the other y squared. This is a y to the fourth, it can only be combined to another y to the fourth. So again, I'm going to put my largest exponent first, so 3 plus 6 is 9y to the fourth. And y squared minus 5y squared, so that's basically a 1 minus a 5 is negative 4y squared. Okay, take a look at number 5 here. Lots of different letters, so you just have to make sure that you're matching them up correctly. So we've got a 1a that matches up with this 8a. We've got an 8c that matches up with this, again, minus 1c. And then we've got a 5b and a negative 5b. Okay, so if we do the a's first, 1 minus 8 is negative 7a. If we do the b's next, a positive 5 and a negative 5 are going to cancel out. And then if we do 8c minus 1c, that's going to give us a positive 7c. All right, let's go down to number 6. We've got the parentheses again, but because it's a positive 1 in front, we don't actually have to worry about anything changing. So we can just kind of combine them as is. But do pay close attention to your exponents. X squared y combines with x squared y, and then xy combines with xy. So 2 minus 10 is negative 8 x squared y. 5 minus 2 is a positive 3xy. Okay, let's flip it over to the back. All right, so number 7 says combine a squared minus 5a plus 25 and negative a squared plus 6a plus 9. So combine is just another way of saying add these together. So if we wanted to, we could rewrite this as parentheses a squared minus 5a plus 25 plus parentheses negative a squared plus 6a plus 9. And I need the parentheses because I'm not just adding like one thing, I'm adding the whole group of things together. Now, on this one, they both have positive 1s in front, so nothing is changing. The signs aren't changing. I could have just combined these right away and just said, all right, I'm combining these two, I'm combining these two, and I'm combining these two. Now, if it was a subtraction problem, like the next one, that wouldn't be true. But for addition, because you're ending up with these positive 1s, the signs on these aren't changing, so we can kind of just combine them. So a squared and negative a squared are going to cancel out because that's a 1 and a negative 1. So they're going to combine to 0. Then we have a negative 5 plus 6. That's going to give us a 1a. And then we have a 25 plus 9, which is going to give us a 34. Okay? Take a look at number 8. Subtract 5x plus 3y from 4x plus y. All right, so hopefully as soon as I say from, you're thinking first. Whatever comes after the from is what's first. So again, I'm going to put it in parentheses because we want to think of it as just one big thing. So it's this big thing subtracted by this big thing right here, 5x plus 3y. Now again, this one has a positive 1 in front, this one has a negative 1. The positive 1 doesn't change anything, so this one just stays 4x plus y. The negative 1 is going to basically flip the signs. You're going to go from having a positive 5 to a minus 5. You're going to go from having a positive 3y to a minus 3y. Right? Once we do that, we can combine our like terms. 4 minus 5 is going to be a negative 1x, or you can just write it as negative x. Whether you put the 1 in there is your choice. And then a 1 minus 3 is going to be a minus 2y. Okay. All right, number 9, express the perimeter of a triangle as a binomial. So remember, with perimeter, you are just adding all the sides. So what they're asking us to do is take these three things and add them together. So it's x minus 4y plus 5x plus 8y plus 2x plus 3y. All right. Now again, if we look at this, every one of these has a positive 1 that we could distribute. But luckily for us, positive 1 doesn't change anything, so we can just kind of go ahead and combine these. We're combining an x, a 5x, and a 2x, so 1 plus 5 plus 2 is 8x, and then we're combining a negative 4 with a positive 8 and a positive 3. So negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4. And then positive 4 plus 3 is 7y. Okay. Take a look at the last one here. All right, a lot going on, but we just take it piece by piece by piece. This one has the positive 1 in front, so nothing changes. All right, it's just going to all stay exactly the same. This one has the negative 1 in front, so when we distribute it, we are going to have some changes there because the signs are going to change on us. So this one we can just basically copy it back down. X cubed plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. Copied it down. And then this one, negative 1 times 3 is minus 3x cubed. Negative 1 times 8 is minus 8x squared. Negative 1 times 8 is a negative 8. Okay? Combine our like terms. We have a 1x cubed minus a 3x cubed, so that's going to be negative 2x cubed. We have a 3x squared minus an 8x squared, So that's going to be a minus 5x squared. You're going to notice that we don't actually have anything to combine with this minus 5x, so in that case it just comes down and we keep it the same. And then we can combine this positive 6 with a negative 8, so that's going to give us a minus 2. All right, so that is the end of this homework. I hope this was of some help, and have a great day.